Happy Thursday. We're back. You guys complained too much that we weren't here yesterday, so we are back, and we are here for Geeks Gamers Daily. Now, they had a good show yesterday. I got to give them credit. Not bad at all.
Did you say were people complaining?
No. I just kind of assumed they were. You know what I mean?
I didn't watch, but I don't know.
No, they did good. They did good. So it was good. And don't forget, next week, all week long, you're going to have guest hosts, and it won't be me or Ryan all week long. I know mostly who it's going to be. Now, could me and Ryan join for a quick second, from the RNC, potentially. But we will be there covering all of that. So we will see how it goes. But next week's going to be a wild week. So we'll see how that one goes. I don't know. How you doing, Ryan? You feeling better?
I'm feeling better, yeah. Feeling better.
It's about damn time.
I heard everybody missed me, so I don't think that's actually true.
By everybody, like one person, maybe 2 people, but I wouldn't bank on it being a lot.
I wouldn't either.
They don't miss you, but they miss the flow of the show when you're here. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense.
So there you go. So
you're saying they didn't miss my bubbly, sparkly presence that I always bring to each and every live stream that I'm present on?
A lot of positivity, it's just like an infectious positivity that you bring. So we'll see. But yeah, we're talking Acolyte. Have you seen it yet?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, because I know you do the thing with EFAP, so.
Yeah, that'll be out at some point today, I'm sure. What a fucking retarded
dude,
episode.
It might be the worst thing I've ever seen. It was bad.
It's compounded by just like the dumb decisions. Like, imagine if this had been the pitch. Hey guys, listen, we've got 8 episodes. One of them is going to be an entirely flashback episode that everyone's going to hate, that everyone's going to mock, that everyone's going to roast. In episode 7, we're going to show you basically all of that again. We're going to completely waste our time. We're going to show you all of that shit again. How does that sound? Kathleen Kennedy signs the check. And in such a variety of ways, too, because one of the things I look at when I watch The Acolyte is how easy it would have been to change a couple things here or there and make it make more sense and make it be more believable and make it be more compelling. The idea that Torben killed himself, right, for what happened there is insane.
I know.
His entire motivation is retarded as well. If you had given Torben, instead of, I've been here 7 weeks. No, for one, you were there 7 weeks and nobody fucking told you what your mission was, what you were even looking for. You were just scanning routes with a metal detector and putting plants in a fucking in your bag. Like, you didn't even know what you were looking for 7 weeks while you're on this planet. But he's just homesick for Coruscant. He just wants to go home. One thing they could have easily done to make the entire episode better from one standpoint, maybe he just wants to be a fucking hero, right? He wants to do something. He wants to be out there saving people. Like, that's just like his motivations. And that would make sense why he would take off without consent, take off and try to save them. And maybe he could have actually caused some problems by being such a rush to be the hero, regardless of what everybody else needed to do. Okay, then I could kind of buy that motivation for a young Jedi. And then he realizes why I really fucked up. But no, that's not. He would just wanted to go home. And he was camping for 7 weeks and he decided that was just too much for me. And he felt so bad about it, he fucking kills himself? Come the fuck on. Like, he did nothing wrong, virtually, in that entire thing. He did nothing wrong.
But that's the thing is, you're not wrong. I just don't think that it's ever going to be that simple with these people. That the entire reason, their decisions from the beginning are motivated by things not through good storytelling.
Yeah, motivation. Hey, all of us in this writer's room, we're all unfuckable lesbians. And we feel like we've been held down by the patriarchy, by the powers that be, by the people that tell us what normal is supposed to be. And anytime we do something like want to adopt kids and make them trans or lesbians themselves, they tell us that that's not okay. They try to control our lives. So why don't we have this lesbian witch cult who just wants to be alone to raise their children the way they want to, even if some consider that kind of dark? they should just be left alone. The Jedi shouldn't interfere. That was the premise when they wrote the show.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything else gets thrown in there with no regard for whether it actually makes a compelling story or not. When you start off from that standpoint and storytelling is last, this is what you get.
Yes. Your mic's acting a little weird. I don't know why. Right towards the end of that, started acting a little weird. It's still a little, like, muffled. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on there. We can hear you, but it was a little muffled. It was almost like you were, kind of sketching out on it.
Maybe I just blew it out or something. I think
potentially. But yeah, I was watching it, and you know, I've said, like, on some, like, oh, that was probably the best episode of this terrible series, which is obviously the most backhanded compliment you can give. I couldn't believe how bad that episode was, like, from everything. The fact that we got the reveals of what they were, and they were even worse than what a lot of our theories were about how bad it could be. You know what I mean? And now episode 8, we got one episode left. How are they going to pull all this together? I don't know, but I can't wait to watch. And by the way, I see a lot of people, like, talking about, like, well, hate watching and all that. Do whatever the fuck you want to do on your YouTube channel, and don't let other people try to sit there and cry because you're getting more views than them and you're more relevant than them. Like, the fact that there's people out there that claim hate watching is a good thing for Lucasfilm. Imagine saying that at this point in time for Lucasfilm. Imagine saying hate watching's helping Lucasfilm. Clearly it's not. Clearly it's not. The numbers have proven that it does not help anything Lucasfilm is doing. Lucasfilm has point blank told people to unfollow us on social media and to not watch our videos. They don't like us. They don't want us covering it. So it's such a nonsensical take. Who cares what somebody does on their YouTube channel? Do whatever the fuck you want. That's really what it comes down to.
And it would be one thing if this was the highest ratings they'd seen on any Disney Star Wars show, right? Like, then if that was actually what came out, then you could be like, well, you know, maybe it's just so many people that are hate watching and that's what happened. But that isn't the case. Think of the two properties over the past year, the two properties that have been the most talked about, the most videos made about them, the worst audience reactions, the Marvels and the Acolyte. How did the Marvels do at the box office? How did the hate watchers, did the people that if you just stop talking about it, you're encouraging people to watch it, to hate on it. How'd the Marvels do? Oh, that's right, the biggest flop in Marvel history. How's the Acolyte doing? Essentially, the worst flop in Disney Star Wars history, right? So the idea, like, that narrative is done. And the truth is, when a lot of people are talking about a show and it's all fucking negative, that's not encouraging more people to watch it at all. Right. It's encouraging less people to watch it.
I have never seen more people claiming how they have truly reached a point where they just absolutely despise Star Wars, but they love watching their favorite YouTubers rip Star Wars apart. Like, we have reached that point now. It's so widespread where you hear those comments. And ultimately, your audience, when people say algorithm, and I heard Mr. Beast say this, which is easily the most trusted source on YouTube for sure. He says, replace the word algorithm with audience. Oh, the audience liked this video. Let me do more of it. Makes a lot different sense. It makes a lot more sense when you put it that way, doesn't it, Ryan? Oh, wow, the audience liked this video. I should make more videos like this. The audience liked it. So if you're getting a lot of views and you're getting good feedback on your video from the algorithm/audience, then maybe you should continue to give the audience what they want. I think that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I don't think Disney Star Wars has realized that yet.
Yes, exactly.
Well, the first topic I want to talk about today actually isn't Disney Star Wars, but it does have something to do with giving people something they probably don't want, which is the sequel to one of the best movies we've had in the last, quarter century, a movie that had virtually a perfect ending that there needed to be no sequel to. Have you seen the trailer backlash for Gladiator 2?
I saw the downvotes when we first watched. They were pretty bad. It wasn't like, it was bad, but now it's gotten to be astronomical.
It's almost 200,000.
Yeah.
Just over 100,000 dislikes.
Astronomical. And that says a lot because I would argue that Denzel Washington might be one of, if not the most respected and popular actors there is.
I love Denzel.
Everybody loves Denzel. And it's not Denzel that's getting the backlash, by the way. It's the trailer, though. And I'm telling you, man, that the rap music ruined that fucking trailer.
Yeah,
it ruined tonally.
I love Kanye and Jay-Z. Right? I fucking love Kanye and Jay-Z. Not in ancient Rome, though. Not when you already have like a pre-established feeling for this. This is a sequel, right, to Gladiator. And that trend is getting a little old of like putting these popular rap or pop songs or whatever in a trailer. But especially when it's something like this that is supposed to be very serious, like a very serious tone and very much in its era. It doesn't feel good, and the audience has spoken. We'll look at the ratio right here. I don't know if they thought because Denzel was in this, we have to give it some street cred, but bro, 194,000 dislikes to 114,000 likes.
This is rough.
And as much as I like Denzel, unfortunately, he is just Denzel. That guy that we were that made the meme video of like Denzel in this, that was pretty much what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we can play a little bit of that just to let the audience know what we're talking about.
Okay, see, I love all of Denzel's movies. He's one of my all-time favorite actors. Like he's probably top 3, top 2. Christian Bale, Denzel Washington. Those are my favorite actors. There's a scene like in this trailer where it shows Denzel laughing. And it's like, dude, that's literally Denzel Washington right there. It's like, what is it? What are we doing here? Go ahead, though.
Yeah, here we go.
I remember that day. I never forgot it. That a slave could take revenge against an emperor.
Where were you born?
I don't know. I never knew a mother nor a father.
You will be my instrument.
Who are you?
I'm the equalizer, bitch.
Did you hear that crowd? The greatest temple Rome ever built. The Colosseum. Because this is what they believe in. Power.
That's Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things, by the way. It doesn't look anything like him, but it
doesn't.
Like him.
See, all of this is fine.
This is good, yeah.
All of this is fine, and then it takes the, like, we have to add rap music because there's a black person in our movie, guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There are victories yet still to come.
Rome has so many subjects, she must feed them.
They can eat war.
The arena turns slaves into gladiators, the gladiators into free men.
You have something in you. I knew it from the start.
Did you now?
Rage. That rage is your gift.
It is so funny. And then we get to this. Oh, here we go. We got to get this. This is just like Denzel being Denzel.
Whose head could I give you that would satisfy this fury?
The entire Roman armies.
Too much.
Too much. Like it just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like Denzel's playing a person. It's like, hey, Denzel, can you just be you? Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Fine.
Yep.
General will do.
And now, like, the tone just shifts completely, dude. Completely shifts. You're like, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, you know why they chose it, right? Because with Jay-Z's line, blood on the Coliseum floor, like, that is the only reason they fucking chose it.
That and they had a black person in it and they had to relate to the black people.
I guess.
So.
I need to only give it a push.
See right here, that's Denzel. Like that's just Denzel being Denzel. My man.
Like he's gonna say it. He has to say it at some point.
All right. Hands on the mausoleum floor. Blood stains the Coliseum doors.
That line is why they chose it.
belong to Maximus.
Well, we don't have to watch the whole thing, but
it's again, I liked the first half of it. I was like, okay, where are we going with this? We got Denzel in it. Pedro Pascal, whatever. He's in every movie at this point. And then it just tonally shifts big time. And like you, I grew up listening to Tupac. I love Tupac. I love all of his albums, all of his songs. If you put Tupac music in this, I mean, what the fuck are we doing right now? What the hell is this?
Put changes over top of it.
Yeah, you could tell Ryan didn't grow up listening to Tupac. Just brought the most normie Tupac song ever.
Well, I'm just saying that would be that would be the same thing in terms of.
No, I know,
That makes no tonal sense if you just started getting a little piano riff. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would make no sense in this context either. Gladiator 2 trailer is already getting insufferable backlash. The normal reaction to the trailer for Gladiator would be cool or this kicks ass. Instead, anti-woke trolls are already complaining about it, from Joe Hoffner, who looks like a lesbian. And do you know why this article was written?
Why?
Because of Gary's video. Here it is. A thumbnail of noted anti-woke YouTuber Nerdrotic's reaction to the trailer. A Photoshop of Mescal's character wearing gold chains and a Pan-Africa pin throws that reactionary streak into ugly relief. Holy fuck. Look at this.
Is that a dude? That's not a dude. Is that a dude?
No, that looks like a chick. No, that's a chick. Look, there is a definite hint of boba.
That's boob armor.
Nipple armor. It's got the nipple.
This is how it starts for them. But the thumbnail.
With Gary doing that stupid look.
With a pimp cup.
And the best part is this is where the mainstream doesn't get it in the media. Like, Gary is... Perry Chan made the thumbnail, but
100%.
It's just as much a meme on Gary as it is a meme on Gladiator, because that is such a stupid picture of Gary.
Look at the hat. Look at the hat.
It says Tupac.
Yeah.
Oh man, holy shit!
But I wasn't expecting it to get that much backlash.
I did not. I didn't either. I mean, when I saw it, I felt like the reaction was really positive, and when I was asked about it, I was like, it's not that, like, it's fine, I guess. I didn't really like the rap music part.
I feel like it has more to do with people just being really tired of shit. Like, just, hey, let's make a sequel.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take this beloved thing and try to turn it into a franchise. I think that's what a lot of it is, you know?
Yeah, I agree. There's just too much frustration out there. Let me see. Did we get... So, David Hand dropped 20 gifted memberships. Thank you, David. That was right at the start. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. The gifties are flying here today. And then we got Lower Lips Liquor with 10 gifted memberships. Look at there. All right. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I do. I think that you're right about... we've just all reached a point where we're overly just done with a lot of this shit. And not even Denzel can save it. Not even Denzel Washington. And when you've reached a point where not even Denzel Washington can save the credibility of your movie, you realize you've gone way too far. Gone way too far now. And that is a sad, sad situation that we're in. Because I would argue, would you say that there's another, like, generally more respected actor than Denzel Washington? Is there anybody at this point in time? Like, currently, with all the political bullshit going on... Because, you know, there's people from, like, Tom Hanks used to be a respected actor back in the day. Now, I think everybody hates Tom Hanks for obvious reasons. You know, Keanu Reeves is a good one. Keanu's up there, too. Keanu's very respected.
Well, he's
but not on the same level.
Not as, like...
As an actor.
People don't consider him the same actor that Denzel.
Right. He's respected as an individual. But
yeah, people are like, wow, Keanu's really good. He really cares about fans. He really cares about everybody he works with. Like, people think Keanu's a really good dude.
Yeah.
You know?
But, like, Denzel's respected as a good dude and as one of the greatest actors of all time. And the fact that he never talks about politics and never talks about things. You remember that interview with Denzel from years ago where they asked him who he voted for? He goes, none of your business. Have you seen that one?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
I'm sure you can find like 1 or 2 statements from him probably at some point in time, but for the most part, he tries to stay out of that stuff.
Yeah. So
Seeing him there, seeing him there trying to calm Will Smith down after he fucking slapped the shit out of Chris Rock.
yeah, Tom
That
Cruise is
still
another
one of
one.
the wildest things we've seen happen. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Remember all the people that thought it was fucking fake? Like, oh my god, I was so fucking pissed having to argue with people about that shit for 2 days.
It's crazy that that happened. And we go back to this. We've talked about this recently here on this show, but for those that don't remember, that don't understand, in the 90s and in the 2000s, Will Smith was the single biggest movie star on the planet. And it wasn't even close. The dude was massive, and not just in movies, but in television and in music. He was the biggest star on the planet. So to see him in that position is still just shocking to see how far he's fallen. Now, Bad Boys is doing really, I'd say it's doing okay at the box office. It's it's doing pretty good.
Really well for that franchise, yeah.
But yeah, Tom Cruise is definitely on that list of respected actors as well. He went through a period in time where he was not very respected. He was kind of getting memed on a lot. And I still think most people think Tom Cruise is kind of crazy, but he's a hell of an actor and a hell of an action star. He's a little crazy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Cruise did something insane. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I would be, because I think anytime Tom Cruise has ever done anything insane, the handlers from what the fuck is that?
Scientology.
From the Scientologist handlers, like, wrap up the dead bodies in plastic and dispose of them and cover things. Like, I 1000% believe Tom Cruise could have killed somebody before. Like, it's not even like a reach. Doesn't mean I'm not going to go see everything he makes. And then Kevin Spacey. It's like, oh, Kevin Spacey's in this? All right.
Oh, man. Friggin' Tom Cruise Scientology. Go back and look at some of those like interviews, man. With like the one with Oprah where he was jumping on the couch, is excited about Katie Holmes. The Matt Lauer interview.
The Matt Lauer interview was about like medication, right?
It was about psychiatry.
Okay.
Psychiatry. And honestly, like, if you go back and watch it, it's not great, but I don't think it's as bad as people remember.
No.
But it was a little awkward for sure. But yeah, Tom Cruise is an interesting character to say the least.
Hey, Tom Cruise jumping on the couch. He loves his woman. Like, hey, all right. Whatever.
I don't know what happened with that one, dude, because when they got a divorce, man, she just disappeared, bro. What
Scientology, man.
Wasn't there a Scientologist? Like, wasn't the guy that runs Scientology? Hasn't his wife been missing for like fucking 7 years or something like that? Am I wrong about that?
I don't think you're wrong.
Like, the guy that runs Scientology, apparently his wife has been completely like missing for like 7 or 8 years. She has not been seen.
David Miscavige.
Yes, that's him. Yes.
I don't know if his wife has been seen recently, but I do remember that for a while. But this is like a couple years ago. I remember hearing reports about this shit. That was when Leah Remini was out there like talking a lot.
Yes, Shelley Miscavige is her name. Yeah, and she's been missing almost a decade.
Yeah.
Wild. And apparently the law has been involved in it, and I don't know, man. It's a strange story. Strange.
I think everyone kills each other now, because I was watching Dexter while I was sick. So now all I can think about is just serial killers. And people covering it up.
Isn't John Travolta part of Scientology?
I think so.
Travolta, Tom Cruise, and there's another pretty big actor.
20 years ago, a lot of people were getting into it. It was like the big new thing in LA that people were getting into, you know?
Mm-hmm. Strange stuff, man.
Andre CR for 2,500. Lesbian witches. Whoa, lo, lo, lo. Master Jedi Trinity performs conversion therapy. I don't even know what the fuck happened. Like, I don't even know what the fuck happened. Like, how they all died from that. Or if Trinity was even trying to do that. Or what happened. God, the fact that we get to see a Wookiee Jedi fight, and it's so poorly done. One, the choreography was garbage, but he should have been manhandling those motherfuckers.
Yep.
Wookiees can rip the arms off people, and yet you're seeing Wookiee Kelnaka with a shit ton of leverage, not being able to overpower Torben, like a slightly built Jedi Padawan.
Yeah.
It was nonsensical. For Soul to be able to deal with him the way he did, for Trinity to be able to jump out, like, that is bullshit. You should have had him like ripping apart the witches or something before they like turned him against the Jedi. But we didn't get to see that.
Can't do that. Can't disrespect women like that, Ryan.
They killed them all. They all fucking died.
I'm just telling you the rules of Disney Star Wars.
The thing I've learned from the Acolyte is that lesbian couples should not be allowed to have children. So thank you, Leslie Headland.
Or never trust a white woman. So.
Well, I mean, white woman.
Trinity. She hid everything. Now Soul's all fucking fucked up because of Trinity.
Oh, well, I mean, listen, it was a very diverse group of women that I would not trust back at the Witch Coven, including a man. There was also a man disguised as a woman there.
All black women are queens. She just loved her daughter and she was gonna let her go.
Bro, the fucking line where someday your noble intentions will get all of the Jedi in the galaxy destroyed. Fuck off with that. Like, how fucking pathetic. And also, we're looking for a virgins in the Force. So maybe, I don't know, stretch out with your senses. Maybe the Jedi should be meditating or like exploring, like trying to get a sense of things. Instead of fucking using a metal detector, which obviously wasn't detecting metal, but what the fuck was all that about? Was that the plan? To wander around this entire fucking planet grid searching to find the Force?
Can you say virgins like Saul said it?
Virgins.
Sounds like he said. I thought he said virgins when he said it.
We are looking for a virgins.
I thought he said virgins when I heard it. I'm like, what are we doing?
Osha, back on Coruscant, there are many children just like you, and you could be there too.
It's so creepy. I feel a connection to her.
It's because he is speaking slowly because he doesn't speak very well, right?
I know.
And he is still, like, when you look at his actual acting in terms of his ability to convey his emotions and shit like that is better than anybody else on the show. But it is
not even Quamir. Quamir's better.
Queermere?
Queermere, yeah.
No, I think, well, Chimere hasn't had very much time. Soul, like, consistently has been the best, the person who is giving the most in terms of the performance as an actor. Everybody else is fucking phoning it in or just garbage. The idea that this setup, this is what I think is funny. This entire thing is to show that the Jedi are evil, right? Like, that's been the plan from the beginning. Leslie Headland said as much. We've seen that play out as much. We've seen the Disney Star Wars fans, the 14%ers that like this show. They're like jacking off at the idea that the Jedi are so bad and how dare they could do this. They did a terrible job of showing that the Jedi were in the wrong. Like, that is the point. That's what they're trying to show, but it doesn't really come off that way. What the fuck did Torben do wrong?
Nothing.
Torben, he immediately goes in there and they basically mind rape him. And he gets fucked up.
That was a white guilt scene. That was a white guilt scene right there. That's what it came off to me. That's your white guilt.
I would have preferred they at least did something similar to episode 6, where Anastasia like invades his mind and is like, I can give you everything you desire. Maybe start rubbing his dick to be like, yeah, just leave the Jedi, like trying to seduce him. Something like that. But instead it's like, I can get you to go home from your camping trip. I can send you home. I know that's what you really want. What the fuck? What a stupid motivation. And then, yeah, guess what? Those witches are creepy and weird and vile. And I would do anything I could to get children away from them. They're talking about everyone needs to be sacrificed. They're doing this ritualistic shit. They're all fucking moaning and singing and swaying together. These kids are either about to be fucked or eaten. Like, that's what I would think if I was a Jedi. So absolutely. And then Anastasia, like, you see May runs up, fucking bitch mother Coral starts preparing to attack. Torben ignites his lightsaber in defense, and Anastasia turns into a demon. What is Soul supposed to do? Like, what would you do?
I wouldn't be there.
Well,
in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't care enough to actually like try to save them. I'd say fuck off. This is not our problem.
Yeah,
but I'm not a Jedi. Soul is a Jedi.
Yeah, but even Soul shouldn't have been in that. None of them should have been in that situation. Like they weren't. They didn't have any right to be there. They're not child protective services, but that's what they're being treated as. And then if they did find that situation, like they should have retreated and reassessed and had more people come back with them when they found out that this planet did have people there that they did not know about.
Yeah, so that they did call to get help, and the answer was, "Hey, don't do anything. You've interfered too much."
Well, then there you go. Then fucking leave.
So you don't think that you don't think that if basically you're on the other side of a room and you think that like a girl's about to be raped or killed or something like that, you don't think that even if the powers of, hey, we don't have jurisdiction, we can't go in, you don't think maybe it's worth doing that to save someone's life?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about in my world, yes. Yeah. Okay. But it's been established. Didn't they say what was the line in this episode where when Soul was talking to Trinity about it, she was talking about like there's different cultures all over the galaxy, shit like that we don't understand. What did she say in reference to that? She says something like that.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is an analogy for lesbians that want to be able to groom their own children the way that they see fit, and they don't want anybody else interfering with them. Like that to me, that's what this show is an analogy for at this point.
I guess, well, guess what? There's a lot of that going on in the United States of America right now. There's a lot of that. And we can't just walk into somebody's house and, rip their kids from them. That's just not reality. So if that's the analogy we're going with that they're doing, then that's not something that it's not realistic. It's stupid. This whole show is stupid. The premise is stupid. But the Jedi shouldn't be getting involved.
But the idea that the Jedi are evil or whatever for trying to intervene when... Like
they're retarded though. The Jedi are stupid.
But before they even went in there, they started a fucking fire, right? That destroyed the entire fucking place. Like, these children's lives were in danger. Specifically, Osha's life was in danger.
The whole point of this is the Jedi are cool to Star Wars fans. The Jedi do nothing cool in this series at all. They're boring as fuck. They make stupid decisions. They put themselves in really dumb, vulnerable positions and end up making everything worse that they get involved in. They're dumb. The Jedi are fucking stupid in this show.
I agree they're being portrayed as stupid. Mostly the writers are fucking stupid, right? Because everybody is making stupid decisions. It's not just the Jedi, right? The witches are making stupid decisions. Chimeras making stupid decisions. Everyone makes stupid decisions when the writers are fucking stupid. But the purpose of the show is to show, look, that it's really evil for the Jedi to do this. And I just don't think that's the case. Look at what you like. The first thing that happened when you get on this planet is you basically hear that these children are about to go through a ritual, and you hear from the kids themselves that it requires everyone to be sacrificed. You walk in there, not like lightsabers ablaze or anything, and the first thing that fucking happens before you even start talking is your Padawan gets mind raped and invaded and fucking possessed. Like, these are dark, evil people. The witches are fucking evil.
I agree with that.
And so I do not think that the Jedi were in the wrong to try to intervene based on all the stuff that they had found out. And when they got there, the conversation that Soul was able to sense that was going on.
Yeah, but did you hear how Soul talked about Osha? He talked about Osha like he knew her for fucking 12 years. Osha can't be here. Osha, you don't fucking know Osha. But he's talking about her in that moment like he's known her for fucking a decade. You don't know her, but he's talking about her like he knows who she is. And she can't be here. Osha, what the fuck are you talking about? They're all fucking stupid. Everybody in this show is stupid, including the Jedi. The Jedi are fucking stupid. And the fact that his first interaction with Osha was when he saw her in the forest there. That was the first time he ever knew of her fucking existence. And then 10 minutes later, he's pleading with Trinity, and he's referring to Osha by her name and saying, like, Osha does not want to be here. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't know Osha. You don't know anything about this fucking kid. But creepily, he's like, I feel a connection with this young girl. She has to come back with me. What the hell are we doing? It's fucking weird.
Yeah, I just don't think that they did a good job of showing the Jedi did anything actually wrong, like with everything they'd seen and witnessed and heard.
I agree with that too. I mean, ultimately, to your point about like the justification of all of it, like fucking what's his name, Doogie Howser guy, Torben did, like, they built this up. The guy fucking kills himself a few episodes ago, so it's built up that he did something horrible to like something that made him feel guilty. He didn't do anything. He
did nothing wrong.
He didn't.
Other than speeding off after being told not to like go and rescue the girls because it's their ticket home. But if it was just that and he was the instigator, that'd be one thing. But Soul caught up to him and heard like what was going on, somehow was able to sense what was going on, and that Osha was being like trapped there and kept captive and was going to get hurt. Soul is the one right with him that like led the charge in. Torben acted defensively the entire time. Torben isn't the one who ignited his lightsaber first, like in aggression. He ignited his lightsaber after Mother Coral looked like she was going to kill him. Like, I don't know why Torben killed himself. I don't know why. Like, and Kelnaka, I could see Kelnaka feeling like guilty or ashamed, right, over letting his mind getting taken over and attacking his friends. But, like, at the end of the day, Kelnaka didn't really do anything wrong either. So it's just really strange.
It is a dumb show. Very dumb show from beginning to end.
Shaka Zulu. I really missed Ryan's Hot D live streams. I'm probably going to do one today since I missed it on Monday. I got to do one at some point just because I love the fucking episode so much. I got to talk about it. Stone Cold's beer cooler. I heard Paramount is selling off the BET network. The question is, will there be a 3/5 compromise with the buyer? Thank you, Stone Cold. Daniel Gray for 2. What's up, my Neros? We was gladiators and shit. Cider Hype for 2. A-Jab. We knew this was coming. Health Minister of Belgium for 5. Ryan delivers more hate per second than a 14-year-old young scholar from Chicago with a full auto Glock 19 switch when you mention Filoni. Love it. Yep. Christian Rocker. Ryan just finished the Thrawn trilogy. Loved it. Mara was the best part about it. Disney really threw great stories away. What should I read next? Go read the X-Wing series, the Rogue Squadron series. See if you like that. That is a little bit before that happens. It's in between the movies and the Thrawn trilogy, but it's about a whole different set of characters, but it's set in the Star Wars universe. Wedge Antilles is pretty much the lead character. Jay's humongous forehead. I approve this message. Thank you. Black Kane. Ryan is my favorite intellectual wigger. Jeremy is my favorite fig. Jeremy needs to do a full campaign on tabletop.
With all this, I have way too many streams I'm already committed to. I can't commit to a full campaign.
Change a few things with the Acolyte. You mean a complete rewrite? Effectively, but there are things you could do within the structure of the show to not completely change the nature of the show that would immediately make it better and make more sense.
See, that's where I disagree with you. I just don't. I don't think that there's any decisions that this show, the premise of the show itself, and the fact that it was created, the reason it was created, no small changes are going to save this show or make this show better. It's just not, because.
Well, I completely disagree with the idea that there's no changes you could make to make the show better at all. Doesn't mean it won't still be a pile of garbage, but you could absolutely make it better than it is now with some small changes. Yes,
I think the small changes are you're talking about what's the lipstick on a pig type. That's all you're trying to do at that point in time. Like, this show inherently from the creation was bad, and nothing's going to change that. Like, the people involved with this process were never going to give you a good show. It was never going to be good. You could literally, like, are you telling me, like, casting Denzel Washington in a movie is going to make it better? Because that's not really seems to be the case right now with Gladiator 2. Everybody hates it, and everybody loves Denzel. Would people have had a different perception if that was a different person in that role? If Joaquin Phoenix was back, or if I don't know, any actor you appreciate or respect was in that role, but it wasn't a black guy, would that change the perception of that Gladiator trailer? Like. My point being is that Leslie Headland was always going to make a bad show.
Well, yeah, I think the people that are in charge are incompetent. That's why I'm saying if you even take like the base structure of the show that they had, even with the twin idea, even with Sith, Jedi, whatever, there are things that you could do within that framework to make a more coherent, cohesive show that fits within Star Wars, that makes sense. Not saying it's going to be a fucking banger or anything like that, but there are things you could do with people that actually know what they're talking about and people that actually know how to write and weren't just hired because they're a lesbian with fucking purple hair and they're black. Right? There are things you could do within the established story structure if they knew anything about what they were doing that could make it better.
See, I can have that. I don't feel that that's a justified argument to have when you're dealing with the idea from the beginning was always going to be bad. Like, if you want to have that argument for something like The Dark Knight Rises and say, hey, if there wasn't a dumb magic knee brace, or if you don't have Bane actually, killed off by Catwoman, which is fucking horrifically bad, if you didn't have Talia al Ghul's terrible death scene, these things right here, changing these things would actually improve the movie. I can go, okay, I can see that because these are big flaws in the movie. Changing something in the Acolyte, you're doing nothing because it's Leslie Headland's creation. It was never going to be good. And if you, Ryan, if you entered that writer's room, every decision that you would have brought forward would have been shot down. Every decision would have been shot down.
We're talking about like two completely different things, right? We're talking about reality and what they gave us and the people that are working on it.
Yes.
And what I'm saying is how easy it would be with competent people to even take the same skeletons, not with trying to make the lesbian cult a virtue signal for modern day lesbians or things like this, but to take some of the same structure of this story. There are things you could do within it to change it, to make it immediately better if you had competent people there. I don't understand how what you're saying is even different than what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I guess I need to see that there's some type of hope in the series to say I can make changes to it to make it better. But you're basically talking about wiping out every creative person involved with the process and starting a whole new show is essentially what you're saying.
I'm telling you how easy it would be for if they had anybody competent in that room that they had hired.
But the decision was made to not bring a competent person from the beginning. We're talking about the creation of this show was to make sure somebody like you is nowhere near it.
I am not talking about if I walked into the writer's room, I could have saved this show. Because again, the people in charge, whatever. What I'm saying is there is so much capability to show like this is... All you had to do with this person's motivations was show this, for instance, and that would have made this way better and way more compelling. And you can pick things like this throughout each and every episode for all of these fucking characters, whether it's Yord, whether it's Jackie, whether it's May, Osha, Chimere, Soul, everybody. And you can pick and say, wow, they chose the dumbest possible thing. Here are some things they could have done in the construction of this show to make it more compelling. So people actually gave a fuck when these people's lives ended or whatever happened. Yeah. And the idea that, oh no, there's no, it's just the worst thing ever. Even if they made changes, it's the worst thing ever. There's nothing you could do to make it better. And by better, I mean, you're saying there's nothing they could do to take this show from a fucking 1 out of 10 to a 2 out of 10. Nothing. Nothing.
I genuinely think, like, I guess I'm just being realistic going, the people involved with this aren't interested in any of that. That's the whole point. Like, decisions are being made from the creation of the show to show you that a change here narratively, a change there narratively was never going to happen in the first place. It's just not going to happen. Like, you can look at the prequels and talk about those things and say, well, if George would have done this or that, this probably would have flowed better and been better. And I'm like, I get that. Because the premise of the prequels was to tell a Star Wars story. You can nitpick aspects of it and go, this would have been a lot better if Padme doesn't fucking die because she lost the will to live. That would significantly make the scene better, probably. And I could say, like, yeah, that's probably a change that if the right person would have got in George's ear, he would have said that. We're talking about something that was created for all the wrong reasons by all the wrong people. So a small change here or a small change there doesn't change the fact that it is awful in every single way. I don't think a narrative change here or a narrative decision there or a character decision there changes the overall problem with this show that it was created, because that's the problem with the show.
I think that by just repeating it's just the worst thing ever, it's just the worst thing ever, it's just the worst thing ever.
Bro,
I feel like when we're breaking these things down,
it was created for diversity.
If we can break these things down and provide examples of, imagine if they had done this would have made sense. This would have been great writing. This would have been good character development, right? Like those are all ways we should be evaluating things.
No, we shouldn't.
And the idea.
We can do whatever we want. I'm not telling you you're wrong for having your opinion. I'm saying I disagree with your opinion. But don't say we should be doing anything. I can do whatever I want, and you can do whatever you want, and neither one of us are wrong for having our perspective. But the royal we bullshit, we can do whatever the fuck we want. And I think the creation of the show is the problem, not the execution of the show. I think the entire creation of the show is the problem. Period. And if we're going to hire Leslie fucking Headland to make a show, no narrative decision changes how bad that it's going to be. It was never going to be good, is my argument. No decision is going to change how bad this show always was going to be.
I don't disagree that with the people they hired, this is the way the show is always going to be. But what I'm saying is I think that when people are evaluating fucking content, and evaluating things that are going on out there, I do think it's important to try to display sometimes to other people, like, hey, this could have worked, like in this small aspect, if they had done something like this, and provide alternatives to show some of these fucking people out there that either are too stupid, too ignorant, and too dumb to understand either way, that there are real valid fucking criticisms out there about this show that go beyond it was created for diversity, and instead are pointing to the clear failures that are happening in some of the basic elements of storytelling. I think that's important to get out there.
I don't disagree. I just said, like, when you, but you have to, I think it's important to look at why was it created to begin with in order to determine if a narrative decision or a character decision could improve it. And George Lucas's Star Wars, you can absolutely nitpick the fuck out of that and go, well, if George would have made this decision differently, because George is making it for Star Wars. Zack Snyder's movies, while I hate them, I can look at Man of Steel and break things down in Man of Steel, classically his fucking dad dying, and go, if he didn't watch his dad die, I fundamentally probably look at this movie differently if he doesn't watch his dad die. Because while I don't like Zack Snyder and his DC movies, I think Zack Snyder is a competent filmmaker, and he's shown that in the past. His Watchmen movies are good. Dawn of the Dead is a very good movie. So I can look at narrative decisions within the structure of his movies and go, okay, if these things were done, I could see this being a better movie. I don't think Leslie Headland deserves that much credit. I don't think Lucasfilm deserves that much credit at this point in time, because they have fundamentally shown from the beginning in the creation of their projects that they are not interested in making different decisions within the story to improve it for the fans. That's my stance on it.
Got it. All right, where are we? I said that one.
Jeremy and Ryan are fighting again, guys.
I said that one. Let's see. MJ UK. The metal detectors were looking for metal chlorians. Yep. Use my membership chat for that one. Lock it in. Yay. What in the actual fuck did the Wookiee do to get killed in his home? He got possessed by the witch and did nothing to them. Wow. Torben failed to get in. Yeah. Like nobody deserved to kill themselves. Quentin for 5. The twins could have walked back off the bridge instead of standing there with their hands out calling each other's names. Mind-blowing writing. Or Soul could have, grabbed the children instead of trying to hold up 2 bridges. Like, that could have happened as well. And then the idea that, look how he selfishly chose Osha to save over May. It was pretty clear he wasn't going to be able to hold up both bridges or even one bridge when it all came down to it.
Now, does that make, just in that particular, like, how we've seen Jedi portrayed in the movies? And we'll say like stuff like, I don't even want to bring like the cartoons in it, because the cartoons have a whole different kind of like idea of how the Force is used, you know what I mean? But like just in the movies, does that make sense that he's that powerful in that scenario and that timeline? I'm genuinely asking. I don't,
I think that it would have been fairly basic for him to grab both those like probably 80-pound kids or whatever, if he had thought of that. Now, if he's trying to hold the bridge up, I don't know what Soul's power level really is, especially 16 years ago. I think it would be a feat that he'd probably be capable of if he had enough time to center himself or whatever. But I also don't have any problem with if you can't do something and you think that both of these kids are going to die, choosing one to try to save. If it's already pretty clear that you're not going to be able to hold it up.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with him doing that either.
Where's Yoda? That's what I want to know.
Especially when the one you let fall is literally the one who just started a fucking fire and killed everybody in the place. Like, whatever. Burrito Man, member for 8 months. Caveat ties for 199. NG wrapped end credits. He should rap Battle Ryan. Oh, Ing wrapped the end credits. He should rap Battle Ryan.
I'll be honest.
That song at the end was mind blowing.
I did not hear the song because as soon as it ended, I just got out. And then I saw everyone talking about the song. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so fucking bad.
It was so fucking cringe.
It's really, I couldn't believe it. Like, you remember all the times you've ended Star Wars and it goes to the, George Lucas and the John Williams theme. And then we go to this.
And there was one thing that Disney hadn't ruined. It was the end credits, right? It's bad enough we have to get Leslie Headland and Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni's name splattered everyone on these credits all the time. Now you actually gave us a cringe song that was made specifically for this movie. Jesus. Shan Dogs for $7.99. I heard Jeremy doesn't like to fly because he keeps getting kicked out of the cockpit for giving pilots the Huck Tua. Thank you. Over on Rumble, Greg for $1. When they hide reviews, it's bad. Yeah, listen, I saw that stuff going down. I know you tweeted about it. I actually saw a lot of things, including House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones and other big time shows that had the thing removed for 3 or 6 hour period that weren't Disney Star Wars shows. So I think it was more of a glitch than anything else. But Wesley, Alec Baldwin manslaughter trial, day 2. They're going to put ABF in a Chinese finger trap. Yeah, I saw some people that are covering that. I'll be interested when we get a result or anything big comes out at the trial would be cool too. A Bentley guy, training day 2, Roman Boogaloo. It did feel a little bit like training day. Ike and Alice, so obsessed with, let's see. Soul got obsessed with OSHA instantly because he was in awe of Black Girl Magic. May had Black Girl Magic too. Bronsonite, I agree with Ryan because he agrees with Jay. You guys look like those 2 old dude Muppets in the balcony arguing. Excellent entertainment. Thank you, guys.
That's what we're here for. Hey, David Hand says, Danny Masterson. I think that's a Scientology reference. Does Danny Masterson, was he a Scientologist? Isn't he in prison for 100 years or something like that?
He raped somebody. Or I will say, he did get found guilty. His first trial, I think, was a mistrial or a hung jury or something. There was a little bit of weirdness with some of the stories, but yeah, I do think he was eventually found guilty.
Raging Rhino. What up, Raging Rhino? Question, why did Soul tie up May at the end of episode 6 and say he needs to talk to her to tell her what happened? May already knows what happened. She saw it, and Soul knows that. He needs to talk to OSHA, not May. So retarded.
Well, I think there's a lot of probably context surrounding what happened that Soul feels like he needs to explain, that it wasn't as simple as he just was trying to murder her mother, that the fact that he thought that they were going to sacrifice them, the fact that he saw Anastasia push them with the Force and attack them from his perspective and all that shit. But yeah, in terms of the entire episode, once again, just like the first flashback episode, a lot of this stuff we had already figured out. The real question that we wanted answered, what did the Jedi do that was so fucking bad that it's to the point of they feel so guilty they're killing themselves? And we got the answer. Nothing they did was that bad at all. Let's see. Lost my spot. Jason Yankovich for 5. Speaking of movies that don't need to happen, a remake of A Fistful of Dollars is in early development.
Who's going to star in that?
I don't know.
It's going to be a black woman.
I am kind of looking forward to Happy Gilmore, too. Electric Boogaloo.
Listen, I like almost all Adam Sandler movies, though. As bad as some of them are, the only one I can't really stomach is Jack and Jill.
Al Pacino recently said that he almost lost his career due to that movie.
I know. I saw.
Which is wild. Al Pacino decides to do one retarded movie, and people don't want anything to do with him. Don Pacino.
I don't think. Like, I think this probably just like a. It's probably just a coincidence. Like, it's probably his career was in a weird spot, and you know, at his age and everything, and so he did that terrible fucking film, and I think it's probably coincidental.
I need to find the Duncan. This is the thing I remember about Jack and Jill more than any other thing. I don't know why this is like always in my fucking head. But it's
Hubie Halloween is great. I love Hubie Halloween. That's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Wow! Al Pacino!
It's not Al anymore. It's Duck.
Better pause it for a minute.
I know. I'm trying to get out.
Don't mind if I do.
What's my name? Dunkachino! It's a whole new game. Dunkachino! You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend.
This is what I always remember from the movie Jack and Jill.
Oh man.
Dunkachino.
But I like a lot of most of Adam Sandler's movies. I like them. Some are really bad, but Jack and Jill is definitely probably the worst.
Eric K for 5. Can Denzel's greatness overcome Pedro's box office poison? I don't know.
Denzel's not like historically a box office juggernaut. He's a very solid box office return for sure, but he's not like a guy that's making like $1 billion movies.
Pedro's also like, how many theatrical released like big movies or whatever is Pedro Pascal starred in?
Starred or been in? Because like he's not even the star of Gladiator too. But
he's probably the third star or something on there.
So are you asking like how many has he been like in that role
in general, right? Because Pedro for the most part is like a TV guy, like in terms of like his biggest roles that we know.
Yeah, well, he was in Wonder Woman.
Exactly, and that was a box office fucking bomb. And I don't think it was Pedro Pascal's fault. I think there's a lot wrong with that, and I didn't like his performance. It's one of the only things I've not liked Pedro in. But like, what other big box office like failures has he been a part of? I guess is what I'm asking.
I don't even know. Actually, it's really a good question.
I'm gonna look up Pedro's filmography really quick.
Yeah, you'd have to look it up. He's been in so much, but a lot of it's been television. But he's being cast or typecast in everything at this point in time. And I don't think he's that I don't think he's a bad actor. I also don't think he's that great either.
I actually like him in almost everything he's in.
He's fine. I mean, he's fine.
And I don't think he's like I don't think he's a box office juggernaut, massive, huge like Chris Pratt or something. That's not how I view him. But I do think he's a good actor in a lot of the things I've seen him in.
I've never seen him not be good or at least fine in something. You know what I mean? I can't say he's this great actor by any means though, but he's usually solid in anything he's in. But he's kind of at that Colin Farrell phase. Remember Colin Farrell back in the day? He was in every movie for like 3 years. Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, he was like everything for like 3 years and then he just disappeared. Same with I brought it up in my video, one of my more recent videos, but I talked about Terminator Salvation and how I'm a huge fan of that movie. And I forgot the guy's name that was in Avatar. Sam Worthington, is that his name? That he was in like every movie for like 3 or 4 year period, and then he disappeared.
Well, he was in Clash of the Titans, and then like the follow up or whatever. Which I actually, those weren't great movies, but I enjoy them.
He's a pretty boring actor. He's a pretty boring actor.
Forgettable,
yeah, he is very. But he's been in some big hits, but he is very boring.
All right. Peter Darker for 2. We was Roman gladiators and shit. Philip Johnson. I never knew a mother nor father. It's possible I was conceived by the midichlorians. Cole Hauser for 2. That's Kangoo, hip hop's premiere into hats. Okay. SBZ for 2. Emperor Kang ain't got shit on me. Vinny Don Dictus for 2. It's Ridley Scott. I doubt it'll be terrible. I don't know. Ridley Scott. I saw one comment on the trailer, and it's like recent Ridley Scott for the past like 2 decades. It's kind of like flip a coin. It could be fucking awesome. It could be fucking shit.
Can I say something controversial?
Sure.
I think Tony Scott, his brother, is better than Ridley as a filmmaker. I think Tony Scott's made better movies than Ridley Scott. And look up Tony Scott's movies, and like Ridley has more, like, he's a bigger star and he's a bigger name and he's done bigger films. But I think Tony Scott's a better fucking filmmaker, and he killed himself. You know, he went full Torben
like
years
more
ago.
Consistent at least or something.
Yeah, I just
maybe he doesn't have
him.
like the highs.
Yeah, he doesn't have the highs. He doesn't
have the lows.
But he does. But I love Tony Scott's movies, man. Tony Scott's fantastic. But that's just my take. I think that'll be an unpopular take.
Mike Hill, Hollywood gonna remake one of Clint Eastwood's classic movies, Fistful of Dollars, for modern day audience. I heard about that. Crazy Clown Town for 2. Mel Gibson is going to his first con out here in Utah. That's cool. Cole Hauser, good morning, Ryan and Jeremy. Jeremy, finally getting my classifieds I missed. Thanks again for you Riggos watching the Acolyte. So I don't have to. 199. Praise Allah.
Hell yeah.
Eugenio Olivencia, remember when Isaac Hayes quit South Park because they made fun of Scientology and they killed off Chef in the most horrific way?
Yep, I remember that.
Jeremy Ryan, take 20 million of your money, make the EU's the new Jedi Order. 20 million of my money? What money do you think I have?
20 million?
$20 million?
Listen, we've had to start ad reads because of Joe Biden's America, okay? We're struggling over here at G&G.
Hey, I have a fucking savings account, let alone investments. Take 20 million of your money. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, Star Wars Theory could consult. Well, that would be so nice. If Godzilla -1 can be made for 12 million, you can do it. Go fuck yourself. Like, even the idea that we have $20 million is insane.
Thank you for the super chat, though. Ryan, you're talking like you got $20 million. You're telling him to go fuck himself after he sent $10.
If people give me $20,000, that would be like life-changing. Take 20 million of your own money. Like, okay. Every Eye Ministries for 2. Issue with continuity. You know it's fake, right? Jeremy's camera is gay for 2. Never forget Black Witches turn into bong hits. Thank you. Gary's Beer Dingleberries for 2. Baldwin should join Scientology. That sounds dangerous. Nate Sandoval, love how you don't shy away from the truth. Doc Tua for 10. Hey, champs. Not gonna lie, it's been kind of hard finding a new source of income. Got all these graphic cards I ain't using. Might get into this mining thing. Message me if you're a miner. FBI, this is parody. Thank you. Exalted Patriarch for 5. What are your predictions for the ending of The Acolyte? Big bad reveal, allude to famous Sith being the master, or the dumb plot twist cliffhanger? I don't think there's any way you can get any sort of resolution for the show in one episode. I do think we might end up finding out that fucking Vanestra was like maybe Chimere's Jedi Master. I don't think she's the Sith, but I don't fucking know. I got no fucking idea. Andre CR for 2,500. When you buy a retard from Wish, what you expect? A retard. What you get? Jake. Anima Chains. Remember, for 15 months, Disney made a Star War about grooming. Flag Ninja with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Witches were dark side training clone M-count off charts immaculate conception twins. They had zero choice but to intervene. Yeah, literally, like, they created these children. Yes. Mike Hill for 5. What was Soul supposed to do? He thought Osha was about to be absorbed by the mother. Yeah, if I saw that happening, all Anna Say had to do was be like, "Stop this! No fighting! She can go with you." Instead, she transforms into a witch, like, dust monster, a fucking smoke monster. Maybe they were inspired by
Lost. Yeah.
Nate Sandoval, Disney
somebody said all Tony Scott has made is The Last Boy Scout. Okay. What are you talking about? I just pulled up his filmography. Tony Scott as director, the original Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder, The Last Boy Scout, True Romance, Crimson Tide, The Fan, Enemy of the State, Spy
that's a good
Game,
one.
Man on Fire, Deja Vu, Unstoppable, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Get the fuck out of here saying the only good movie he has is The Last Boy Scout, which is amazing, by the way.
So you're telling me that those two Denzel movies that were both on trains that we talked about like a couple days ago, both of those are Tony Scott movies?
Yes.
So like just reuse all these props. Let's shoot these back to back.
Yeah. But no, like Tony Scott, I think he's better. I think I will absolutely put his filmography up against Ridley, and I think Tony Scott's better. By the way, Man on Fire and Crimson Tide, better than anything Ridley Scott's made, in my opinion.
Over on Rumble, NDNB for $1. Feel like I'm watching The View. Bronze Knight for $1. Lame propaganda, skinwalking, and corpse of what was Star Wars. How creative, revisionist history. The good guys actually bad. Never saw that one coming. Star Wars 1619. Thank you. Nate Sandoval for $5. If Disney made Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs would be lame and gay. Ron Cook, if Jake didn't go back to troll school, he still has no troll skills. R.I.P. Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, I had to ban Jake from Cobra Cast chat for 24 hours for promising to send a super chat, but then he couldn't do it. So we'll see if he shows back up next time.
J.S. Pena for 199. Ryan, thoughts on the Darth Plagueis book? I think it's fucking awesome. It's not exactly like an exciting action-packed read, but it's pretty deep and it connects a lot of things together, and I love it. It's one of my favorite books. The Under Armour Gamer. Ryan, what's after the Darth Bane series? Loved it. Also, Jeremy, a huge fig. There's a big gap after Darth Bane. I would read Darth Plagueis after that, to be honest. Stephen DeLeon for 2. Shut the fuck up, Jeremy. Burb Shid. Idris Elba as Mother Anastasia could redeem the show. It would be really funny if they just recast and didn't say anything. Just Idris Elba using like falsetto. Zixel. Longtime lurker. First time super chatter. Just wanted to show some appreciation to people you inspired me to make my own channel.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations, Zixel.
That's awesome, man. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Super chat. Flag Ninja for 25 months. MCU fan is a simp, but he's our simp. How does it feel to be outclassed by Simpy, Jake? Raised by Wolves for 10. You cannot write a moral character when you are morally corrupt. Ian, I agree with Jay. You're both wrong. Lord Botha for 199. Jeremy versus Ryan. G&G Civil War rumors incoming. Oh yeah, check your latest sources.
I wish you guys could hear our arguments when we're on the phone when we actually say gamer words to each other.
That's true. Cole Hauser for 2. Fight. Riga and a white. Thank you. Stephen DeLeon. Jeremy, if you need a donor for your hair eyebrows, I got ass hair for you. Let's see. Zach for 199. Man of Steel's goated. You're wrong, Jeremy.
Fuck that movie.
Osmora with a super sticker. Thank you.
That is an interesting thing, though. Like, I do wonder how I view Man of Steel. Like, that is one decision in that movie that completely derails the movie for me. Now, I have other problems with the movie, but I feel like my problems are highlighted by that decision to watch his dad die. Like, if that doesn't happen, if
that doesn't happen, are you as harsh on the rest of the movie?
Exactly, and that's
are you harsh about like a kiss in the middle of the crater? Like,
exactly,
stuff like that?
Yeah, and that's a valid question. So if his dad dies from, I don't know, a heart attack, and you know he realizes that there's certain things that I can't do with my power and it whatever, like in the original Christopher Reeve movie. Does that change it? And I don't know. I know I did enjoy the first 45 minutes of Man of Steel, and I still do actually think the first 45 minutes of Man of Steel are fucking really good. I love all this stuff on Krypton. I love it. It's really good. And Russell Crowe and the casting in that movie is phenomenal. But I do wonder how I would view that movie.
That's Amy Adams, right?
Yeah, I thought she was the weakest point. She's definitely the weakest.
I don't mind Amy Adams.
I think she's a great actress, but she's terrible as Lois.
Yeah, it's like I don't see her as Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Super Mastermind, no younger Yoda flirting with girls. Yeah, I think they could throw that in there, I guess. Tobias for 5. How couldn't Soul lift or move kids when they were seeing not one, but not two, but several Jedi lift or move entire ships with the Force? Is he just weak? I think he was attempting to hold up the bridges, not the girls themselves, which is why you saw like the bridge fall when he stopped trying, and then eventually Osha's bridge falls as well, and then he grabs her. And we've seen Soul grab Osha. Like, literally grab her when she was falling off the cliff in the first episode. So we know he has that capability. I just don't think he was trying to grab the girls. I think he was trying to hold up the bridge, which is kind of dumb. Atomic Lori for 5. Check out Film Thread's version of the end credit song on Acolyte. It's a banger. Thank you, Lori. Christian Rocker for 5. Torben was originally going to run in yelling, "This is MAGA country."
Now that Ryan would be right if they did that. I'd be like, "Hey, this is a 10 out of 10 series right here."
Taker for 5. You see Paul Chato's video title, "Better Not Call Soul." May saw what happened firsthand, and OSHA didn't see any of it yet. May says she was brainwashed. Master Austin, member for 16 months. Jeremy and Ryan, 2024. Dixon Cox, you are both 1,000 times more entertaining than Disney Star Wars.
That's all we're trying to do here.
Ministry of Wrong thing. The Jedi literally did nothing wrong. They only raised their sabers after a child appeared to be in direct danger. Dang, they really leaned into that whole "the Jedi are cops" analogy. Yeah. Blessed Souls for 199. Wikipedia unfollowing everyone. Shill's mad on X.
Dude, I went to I was having a discussion with somebody last night about like rankings in Star Wars and stuff, like what this person was ranked in. And I was on the phone and I went to Wikipedia and fucking I saw Tarkin had like pronouns on fucking Wikipedia. I didn't realize that. I did not realize it was. I was like, holy shit.
And I think there's like a misconception that like Disney or like something runs that. It's really not. It's owned by like, what is it, that fandom site or something?
Yeah, you know,
like they're the ones that own a lot of that shit.
That is, I'm actually curious about that because I was talking to somebody about G.I. Joe, and we're talking about Serpentor, and I was like, he's Cobra Emperor. They're like, no, he's not. And I looked up on Joepedia, and Serpentor obviously is Cobra Emperor, but I didn't see pronouns on Joepedia. So for Serpentor, let's see. Yeah, I don't see any. So it's weird that Wikipedia has it. I'm trying to see if I can find. So I'm assuming Joepedias are owned by the same people.
Like it's this, right? So here, if I can find it. This is it, right? Fandom.
Yeah, and Fandom does own this one too. Yeah.
Like they're the ones that fucking control all of these fucking sites, right? A lot of these different genre-based Wikipedias, for lack of better terminology.
Yeah, so here's Serpentor, and he doesn't have pronouns. They don't have pronouns listed for him on Joepedia, but Wikipedia for Star Wars, they have pronouns for all the characters. So, and that's owned by the same company. Like it is a fandom. It is fandom. So I wonder if it's specific, if they allow whatever, like the mods for that particular.
I think
whatever.
Like my guess would be. By the way, my guess is the people that do this probably aren't even really fucking paid.
Yeah.
Like that's just my assumption of the entire thing. But I think people think that, like Disney, like, and I don't know who the sole owner of the fandom site is. I have no fucking idea. But I think people assume that it's like run by Lucasfilm or something, which is not necessarily the case. Why check M count? Just have to try harder. Sabine, yeah, I know. Everyone can use the Force. Hail the lore. Hail G&G. Today's my birthday, so I'll be with family. Just want to say finding you guys on a live stream 3 years ago has been a blessing. Hey, shout out Hail the lore.
Hail.
Happy birthday.
That's awesome, man.
Sam Worthington was the Pedro Pascal of the mid-2000s.
I think Pedro's a better actor than Sam Worthington, to be fair.
Jedi Ben for 199. Pedro killed Wonder Woman twice, the 1984 and the TV pilot. Was Pedro Pascal in like that old TV pilot from like 2003 or something? That would be funny. Flag Ninja for 5. Terminator Salvation is underrated, but not good. I don't think it was bad.
I love Terminator Salvation.
I actually think it was good. It's a good movie.
I love Terminator Salvation. It's clearly not like T2 level, which nothing is, but I thought it was good. I thought Christian Bale did a good job as John Connor, and I thought that I just liked how the film looked. I loved how the overall aesthetic of the film was, and yeah, Sam Worthington was fine in it. Or was it Bryce Dallas Howard? She was in it. I enjoyed it. I liked Terminator Salvation. It's my second favorite Terminator movie, but I haven't seen all of them. I have not seen Terminator Genesis. What's the other one that came out recently? Wasn't there two more that came out? Yeah, I haven't seen either one of those because I heard they were just awful.
Dark Fate. Where the fuck did I go? Matt, for 20, if Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns are going to get remakes, I sincerely want Hollywood to just go away forever. Leone is a genius filmmaker that deserves more respect than Hollywood is capable of current day. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Thank you, Matt. Burb shit for 5. Dirty Harry remake starring Whoopi Goldberg in Balenciaga and fishnets with a pink water pistol. Please no. Cole Hauser for 5. The end of the Acolyte should be General Grievous rising from the shadows holding all the dead Jedi lightsabers. Clemson PC for 10. Crimson Tide greater than Mazza.
I agree.
Shadow saying, hey now, you're an all-star. Get your Shrek face. What? Raging Rhino for 15. I got another question for you, but it's too detailed to put in a super chat. I DM'd it to you, Ryan. Please check it out. I'm curious if you have an answer. Cheers. I will check it out, Raging Rhino, and I'll let you know. Thank you for the 15 Aussie super chat.
Yes, thank you, Raging Rhino.
Bill Prime Gaming. Jeremy and Ryan and the new odd couple. Been here a while. Blue-Eyed Scorpio for 199. Acolyte would improve with a better writer. Agree. Thank you. Clemson PC for 10. What did I don't do?
Yeah,
What is that about?
Hang on. That was a meme the other day.
Is that Jay?
No. Was it on Main Event? There's so many memes. Was that on Main Event? Somebody said something. I can't. Was it Dan? Yeah, it was Dan. It was Dan on Main Event. He did. He said, what I did, I don't do. Yeah, that was Dan.
What I did, I don't do. Bronzonite. Wonder if Amandla made that end credits shit show. I don't think it was. I think it was a different person, but it would be funny if it was. Spirian with a super sticker. Thank you, Spirian. Kalyoth for 10. Your reviews become more important in a world where Crunchyroll bans all comments from platform and Rotten Tomatoes, moving to ban audience opinions. If consumers' opinion doesn't matter, neither does our money. Thank you, Kalyoth. I think we're all caught up.
All right, guys, we're at the end. Another good one in the books. And so, again, don't forget. So we'll be back tomorrow. But next week, you're going to see a lot of new faces here covering Geeks Gamers Daily for us. And we hope you guys will be here. And you might see me and Ryan pop in occasionally from our phones to just say hello, things like that. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a long weekend of traveling for me. And, Ryan, what do you got going on?
Nothing.
I
will probably try to do a House of the Dragon stream at some point today
on RK Outpost Live.
On RK Outpost Live. I don't know when it's going to be, but it will be on RK Outpost Live. Just because I didn't get to do it Monday, and of course, this is like the banger episode of the season so far. So.
Yeah, everybody seemed to freak out over it. Everybody was going crazy over it.
Yeah, it's wild, right? When you actually have battle sequences that mean something to the narrative as well, it helps. Instead of just like flashy swords or lightsabers or whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm happy people are enjoying it. I'm still in a weird spot of like, I know how it ends, like, so who cares? But like everybody's loving House of the Dragon, man. Everybody's loving it, just watching it. Apparently it's, would you say that it's if Game of Thrones at its peak was a 10, where is House of the Dragon right now operating? So take that high level of Game of Thrones season 2, 3, whatever. If that's the peak and that's a 10, where is House of the Dragon operating right now?
Do you mean in terms of quality, or do you mean in terms of like fan, like
quality? Just show quality. Show quality.
I think the show quality is fairly on par with some of the earlier seasons of Game of Thrones, and I think the structure as well in terms of it's about political intrigue. But now we're getting to the Civil War portion of it, which is going to require a lot of battles. So I don't know if it's quite there. But it's, but I would say it's comparable in terms of quality of storytelling. The fan like buzz is not anywhere near where we were at the end of like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the quality of this show so far is better than the quality of the last couple seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
By leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with, I think it was maybe Mahler the other day, where I was saying sometimes you get these pop culture phenomenons that people start watching because they want to be a part of it, and that's why we saw with Game of Thrones, the worse the show got, the more people were continuing to watch, because it became about more than just the show itself. It became about everyone reacting to the show and being a part of something that they thought was popular.
Yep.
And so a lot of those fans that still might exist that have been watching House of the Dragon are like, oh, wow, this show's really slow. Why are they just talking so much? It's like, you motherfuckers maybe weren't around. Maybe you binged the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones and you don't remember when it was airing. And you don't realize that this is kind of what Game of Thrones felt like those first couple seasons before it just became all about spectacle and no substance.
And yeah, I feel like Breaking Bad caught that same kind of lightning in a bottle too towards the end. A lot of people jumped on because Breaking Bad was a very successful show for the first few seasons for sure. But it really, those final 2 seasons of Breaking Bad, it wasn't Game of Thrones level. Nothing. I don't think we've ever seen anything that's Game of Thrones level on the television side. Maybe Walking Dead, but I don't think Walking Dead was as big as Game of Thrones even. But Breaking Bad kind of got that same thing. The difference is Breaking Bad stuck the landing and gave us a great finish. But it picked up a lot of that normie audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it ended soon enough too that it's like, you didn't have to maybe worry about that shit. But.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I would say Game of Thrones is definitely the biggest television pop culture phenomenon we've seen in the last decade, if not more. I mean, it was unbelievable how big it was. Yeah. Unbelievable.
And when you're looking at the numbers, it is pretty impressive. I think this episode was like maybe 8.5 million people watched it basically in like the first 24 hours just in the United States. And that's on Max and on HBO for people that still watch it that way. I don't know fucking why anybody would. But those are pretty impressive for first 24-hour numbers. I think the first episode is racked up around 30 million views as of this point, a couple weeks later.
Lost was huge. But I don't know, like, but obviously Game of Thrones was on HBO. Lost was on, ABC, I think. So there's a little more access to Lost for sure. But I don't remember Lost having the cultural relevance that Game of Thrones had. Maybe I'm wrong about that. And of course, that was a different time as well. Lost was a little bit before Game of Thrones. I mean, you could point to things like Stranger Things. You could point to things like Squid Game that had their moments as well. But Game of Thrones was just a different level, man. A different level altogether.
We read it. It was earlier though, but we did read it.
We read it. But all right, guys, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. We'll see you. I'm probably doing a super chat square up at some point tonight here on this channel. I got to look because obviously I streamed against Tuesday night's main event. I don't know if there were super chats left. I need to get with everybody and find out. And then Joe Biden's doing his big boy press conference today.
Jesus.
And I'm probably going to go live and do an emergency Cobra cast about that. Tweetatone, no gaming tonight. Sorry, Tweetatone. Tweetatone's going to get mad at me. But all right, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Have a great day. We'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.